It's submerged in milk. So we're gonna add a gallon of whole milk. We're gonna add some of our Tony Chachere's Cajun injection butter, and we're gonna inject the heck out of this. So let's get it submerged. It's gonna dilute in there, so it's not really gonna make it that spicy. It's just adding a little flavor in there. Get that injection butter mixed with the milk. Grab our injector. We're gonna inject, inject, inject. And we're just gonna continue to do this for about 5 minutes or so. We're gonna get tons of this milk injected into our prime rib. Now we're gonna flip it over on its side. So we got the ends, and now we're getting the middle. Now we're just gonna let it marinate for 24 hours. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll show you how to finish this bad boy off. All right, y'all, it's been 24 hours. We're gonna pull this out. Look at that. We're gonna let this sit out for 2 hours. That's right, 2 hours, because when this prime rib sits in this super cold milk, it gets that internal temperature super cold. So we wanna let this get to a room temperature before we ever go in the oven with this. We're gonna pat it off, we're gonna get it dry. I'm gonna go on and cut these bones off. It's gonna help it get to room temperature. So we're simply gonna go down this back side, cut in towards the bone. And there's that. You see this big hunk of fat? We're just gonna trim a little bit of that off. We're also gonna go in here and remove part of this fat cap off. There's no need for that. You see how this is all wanting to fall apart? Get your butcher's twine. This is how I measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty simple. I just tie a simple knot. It's gonna hold our meat together. Now we let it rest. So now I'm gonna attempt to take the ribs, and that's what we're gonna make our au jus with. Let's do it. Throw them in our Instant Pot. 1 large yellow onion, big chunks. Throw that right in. Just a couple carrots. A bunch of celery. Now let's flavor it up. We're gonna go in with a heaping tablespoon of this beef broth paste. Get that in there. Half a stick of butter. 1 whole head of garlic. We're gonna cut the end off. Try and cut the root end off. And there's all our little garlics. We'll just add those in. Now it's time for the Dano's Original. That's the green top. This is amazing for making any sort of broth. So we're gonna add us a good, probably 2 tablespoons of the Dano's OG. And now for the last step, we're gonna add 2 cups of water. You might think, oh, you need more water in there. You really don't, because those vegetables are gonna create a lot of broth as well. So we're gonna do this for 2 hours. That's gonna extract all that flavor out of the bones and out of the meat. And hopefully this ends up being some awesome au jus. So we're gonna give it 2 hours, high temp. All right, we have rested for 2 hours. Look at that. So it's time to season this bad boy up, and we're going into our oven. Turn it upside down. Get you a bowl. Going in with a couple big scoops of some mayonnaise. We're gonna go in with some stone ground mustard. And now it's time to take this thing to the next level. The Dano's Primo. Look at this, you guys. This is black garlic, black pepper, sea salt. It's got rosemary in there. It's even got black cumin. Flavors you never had before. A little bit of Aleppo flake. So we're gonna go in with a bunch of this into our mix. We're gonna get that mixed up. Now, simply gonna rub this in. Smells amazing, actually. Nice and coated, just like that. All right. Now we're gonna pop the top on our Primo again. Give it another nice little coating, just like that. So now you need one of these in a baking pan. Lay it right in the middle. Now we're gonna go in with the rest of our mayonnaise and rub it on the top. Now it's time for the last sprinkle. And now into our 275-degree oven we go, just like that. It's been 2 hours. All right, come look at this. Look at how tender that rib is. Wow. All right, we're gonna try that. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's basically a pot roast. That is really good. All right, now that we got our meat set to the side, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put everything back in here, strain out the big stuff, and that's gonna be our au jus. Add our juice to our pot. I'm gonna add a little bit of this browning sauce. I tried this stuff by itself and it's super potent, so you don't wanna use a lot. This is gonna help us get that dark color, I hope. That's what we wanted. It's lacking one thing. We'll salt it up a little bit. All right, so our flavor is off the charts, but I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try and take the fat out of this. All right, you guys, 2 hours at 275. The last 50 minutes, it's been at 300, so I raised it. We're at 118 now. We're gonna crank this up all the way to 500. And now we're gonna get a crust on it. All right, look, you can see we threw this in the freezer for about an hour. You can pull the grease right off the top. And then if we wanna add some of this grease back in, we totally can. So I'm basically gonna pull almost all of it out. We'll leave that last little bit in there. Now we're gonna heat this up, bring it back to a boil. We're gonna try it, see how it is. All right, let's give it a test. There is no reason to be eating that. I'm not adding any of that back in there. That's amazing. Y'all need to follow that recipe. All right, my friends, it's time. Now we're just gonna let it rest for a good hour. Oh yeah, and while this rests, make sure you cover it up like that. Time for the moment of truth. Look how juicy that is. Wow. I'm gonna give it a little one of them. Wow. That looks awesome. Pull that off. If you gently pull it and press down, you can kind of keep your crust on. Look at that. Learn something. Remove our strings. Get back to cutting. Smells amazing. Wow. I think we did good. Oh my goodness, that is so tender. I'm telling y'all, that's why we do the milk marinade. Look at that. Let's just try it by itself. Nope. Nobody is making a prime rib that tender without milk marinating. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at this. Dipping our au jus. The homemade horseradish sauce right there. That is insane how tender this is, how juicy this is. Best prime rib you're ever gonna have. That's the best one I've ever made. And I know it's not even perfectly cooked. I mean, you got a little pinky on the inside, maybe a little more well done on the outside. It's not what I wanted, but this is the most tender prime rib you're ever gonna have. Try it. Thank me later. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Keep sprinkling.